First dates, they can be exciting, nerve-wracking, and the potential starting point for something truly special. But here's the thing, gentlemen, most men unknowingly sabotage themselves on first dates, turning a potential love story into a flat-out disaster. They make classic mistakes that send all the wrong signals, leaving their date feeling anything but excited about a second encounter. And the worst part? They have absolutely no idea they're doing it. But fear not, my friends. Today we're diving deep into the biggest first date blunders men make, and more importantly, how to avoid them like a pro. This is your guide to turning that first date into a resounding success, making sure you hear those magical words, "Let's do this again." Let's be honest, we all love to talk about ourselves, our passions, our accomplishments, that hilarious thing our dog did this morning. But on a first date, turning the spotlight solely on yourself is a surefire way to send her running for the hills. You see, a truly captivating conversation is a two-way street. It's about creating a space where both of you feel heard, seen, and understood. Think of it like a game of tennis. You hit the ball over the net and she hits it back. There's a natural back and forth, a rhythm to the exchange. Now imagine if you served the ball and then proceeded to hog the court, hitting volley after volley without giving her a chance to return. That's what it feels like when you dominate the conversation. You might think you're just being enthusiastic, but she's left feeling like a spectator in her own date. So, how do you avoid this conversational pitfall? It's simple. Become a master of active listening. When she's talking, really listen. Not just to the words she's saying, but to the emotions behind them. Make eye contact, nod your head, and offer those small verbal cues that show you're genuinely engaged. And when it's your turn to talk, resist the urge to launch into a monologue about your latest obsession. Instead, keep it concise and engaging. Here's a golden rule to remember. For every detail you share about yourself, ask her an open-ended question to bring the focus back to her. It's not about turning the conversation into an interrogation. It's about showing genuine interest in her world. Remember, the goal of a first date isn't to impress her with your vast knowledge or witty anecdotes. It's to connect with her on a human level, and that starts with truly listening and engaging in a meaningful exchange. Choosing the right location for a first date can feel like navigating a minefield. You want to impress her, but you also want to create a comfortable and relaxed atmosphere. So, how do you find that sweet spot between trying too hard and not trying at all? Let's start with what not to do. A stuffy 5-star restaurant might seem impressive on the surface, but it can actually work against you. The formal setting can feel intimidating and put unnecessary pressure on both of you to be on all night. Plus, let's be honest, who can relax and have a genuine conversation when you're worried about spilling red wine on a tablecloth that costs more than your rent? On the flip side, suggesting a quick drink at your local dive bar or meeting up for a casual coffee date can send the message that you're not really invested in making an effort. Remember, this is your chance to show her that you value her time and company. So, what's the perfect first date location? The key is to find a middle ground, a place that's both enjoyable and conducive to conversation. A cozy cafe, a hip wine bar, or even a fun activity like mini golf or bowling can be great options. The goal is to choose a setting that feels relaxed and inviting, a place where you can both be yourselves without feeling the need to put on a show. And remember, the location should be a backdrop to your conversation, not the main event. Think about it this way, you wouldn't choose a restaurant based solely on its fancy chandeliers, would you? You'd consider the food, the ambiance, the overall experience. The same goes for a first date location. It's about creating an experience that's enjoyable for both of you. Chapter 3. Manners maketh man. Chivalry is not dead. In the age of dating apps and casual hookups, it's easy to forget that good old-fashioned manners never go out of style. Gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that chivalry is not dead, and it's one of the most powerful tools in your dating arsenal. Think about it. When a woman feels respected and valued, she's more likely to let her guard down and open up to you. And that's exactly the kind of connection you want to build on a first date. So, how do you demonstrate good manners in a way that feels genuine and not forced? It's all about the small details. Start by being punctual. There's nothing more disrespectful than showing up late for a date, especially in a world where we're all constantly glued to our phones. Speaking of phones, do yourself and your date a favor and keep yours tucked away during the date. Give her your undivided attention. Let her know that she's the most important person in the room, and when it comes to the date itself, be mindful of your actions. Hold the door open for her, pull out her chair, and for goodness sake, put your phone away. These small gestures might seem insignificant, but they speak volumes about your character and how you view women. Remember, good manners aren't about following some outdated rulebook. They're about treating others with respect, kindness, and consideration. And those qualities are always in style. Chapter 4. Slow your roll, don't scare her off with intensity. Imagine this. You're on a first date, the conversation is flowing, and you're starting to feel a real connection. You're getting excited, maybe even a little carried away with the moment. And then, you drop a bomb. You start talking about your ex, your burning desire to get married and have kids, or how you're convinced she's the one you've been waiting for your whole life. Crickets. Gentlemen, I hate to break it to you, but bringing up heavy topics like exes, marriage, or your undying love for someone you just met is a surefire way to send her running for the hills. Remember, a first date is about getting to know each other, building a foundation of trust and connection. It's not the time to unpack your emotional baggage or map out your entire future together. Think of it like building a house. You wouldn't start by installing the roof before you've even laid the foundation, would you? The same principle applies to dating. You need to establish a solid base before you can even think about building a future together. So how do you avoid coming on too strong? Keep the conversation light, fun, and engaging. Focus on getting to know her interests, her passions, her dreams. Share funny stories, ask thought-provoking questions, and above all, be present in the moment. Save the deeper, more personal conversations for when you've built a stronger foundation of trust and intimacy. Remember, relationships are marathons, not sprints. Enjoy the journey and let things unfold naturally. Chapter 5. Show up, the power of genuine interest. Let's face it, in the age of dating apps, it's easy to fall into the trap of treating dates like job interviews. We size each other up looking for any red flags or deal breakers, and we're quick to move on to the next candidate if things don't feel 100% perfect. But, here's the thing. Dating shouldn't feel like a chore. It should be fun, exciting, and full of possibility. And the key to unlocking that sense of joy and connection is simple. Show genuine interest. I'm not talking about feigning interest to get what you want or pretending to be someone you're not. I'm talking about showing up authentically and allowing yourself to be present in the moment. Put away your phone, silence those mental to-do lists, and truly focus on the woman in front of you. Listen to what she's saying, ask follow-up questions, and let her know that you're genuinely curious about her world. Remember, everyone has a story to tell. Everyone has passions, dreams, and experiences that make them unique. Your job is to uncover those hidden gems and let her know that you see her, you hear her, and you value her. So, how do you show genuine interest? It starts with being present. Put away your phone, make eye contact, and actively listen to what she has to say. Don't just wait for your turn to talk. Engage with her thoughts and feelings. Next, ask meaningful questions. Don't just stick to surface-level small talk. Dig deeper. Ask her about her passions, her dreams, her fears, what makes her tick, what lights her up, and finally, be yourself. Authenticity is magnetic. When you show up as your true, genuine self, you give others permission to do the same. So, relax, be yourself, and let your natural charm shine through. Outro: level up your dating game. So there you have it, gentlemen. The biggest first date mistakes men make, and more importantly, how to avoid them. Remember, first dates don't have to be a minefield of awkward silences and missed connections. By mastering the art of conversation, choosing the right location, showing respect through good manners, pacing yourself emotionally, and showing genuine interest, you can turn that first date into a resounding success. Now I want to hear from you. What's the biggest mistake you've ever made on a date? Share your hilarious or cringeworthy stories in the comments below. Let's have a laugh and learn from each other's experiences. First dates don't have to be a minefield of mistakes. With these tips, you'll leave a lasting impression for all the right reasons. What's the biggest mistake you've ever made on a date? Share it in the comments below and let's laugh about it together. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more dating tips to level up your game.